I thought we got off to a great start with our defensive intensity, and that's one thing we want to continue to focus on. I thought that the last part of this first half, I think they had like 10 points with about 8 minutes left, and they scored on 10 of the last 12 possessions. And we can't go into the half like that. I think they shot something like 46% in that first half. But I thought in the second half we gave a great effort on the defensive end, held them to 28% from the field in that second half. And I think offensively, we made some shots, obviously, but I thought we made some shots because we flowed into our offense. This team usually plays about 75% man and about 25% zone. I knew it would flip a little bit the other way because of our struggles on the offensive end and our inability to shoot the ball at times. But we did something different. We ran most of our man offense against the zone. And I think our guys are so much more comfortable knowing where their shot is coming. I thought most of our misses, when we go back and look at tape, it comes from our shooters not being down and ready, expecting to catch and shoot the basketball. And I thought in this game we did a much better job of being down and ready to go attack and make shots.
You talked not long ago about ending the bleeding. It took a little longer than probably you wanted it to, but how much does it do for this team's confidence just to get back in the win column?
It does a lot, and especially going on a long break. You're not going to play another game for a week, so we want these guys to go home with a good Christmas and have a good time there. But we need it more so than anything because I thought we played a great game defensively against USC Upstate, but we turned the ball over 17 times against that team, and we out-rebounded them by a wide margin, but we just didn't take care of the ball offensively to give us a chance to win that game. Now, we got lucky this game because I think we had 21 turnovers, and that's something that's still been an Achilles heel for us. We got to get past that because this team didn't pressure us at all. I understand when you have a high volume of turnovers against a team that presses, but this team didn't do that. So we got to do a much better job of taking care of the basketball. But I think part of it comes from the fact that guys are trying to do the right things and get the ball inside against the zone, and they overpass it sometimes rather than just moving the basketball. So it's going to be a good Christmas. I know my family will be happy. I won't be walking around like a zombie on Christmas Day, and so my wife and my kids will be excited that I'm in a good mood.
Where's Gavin at? What's his timetable right now?
To my knowledge, it's going to be about 2 weeks before he's ready to get back playing again. So that's just an estimation. It changes day by day depending on how he's recovering. But from my understanding, what Ryan told me, it's going to be about 2 weeks.
Well, I know he had 4 fouls, but he had 28 minutes. Are you planning on playing as much as you can, just like you did tonight, and while Gavin's out?
Oh, yes. While Gavin is out, we really don't have much of a choice there, Gene, as he's our only so-called true center at this point in time. Oliver Black can slide over there, but we like Oliver Black more as a 4-man, the power forward spot. So right now we're really in a 3-man rotation with those 2 spots. So you got Rockwedge, you got Falou, and then you also have Oliver Black. Now we can slide Travis Daniels over there to the 4 spot when we need to, but I just think he's much more of an effective player when he's playing a small forward spot.
How do you think Falou did tonight?
I think that him and Oliver Black give us such a different dimension at that spot because they're so active and they're so long. But the best thing about those guys is their lateral quickness. They can switch a ball screen and guard anybody. And what I thought we did a better job of in the second half, in the first half we were switching 1 through 4 with the ball screen. In the second half we just switched all 5 ways and kept everybody in front of us. And you can do that when you have Falou and Oliver doing that because they have such good lateral quickness.
Do you think Craig's getting back to normal per se? I mean, it's 7 points, not a huge night, but he had some production in 19 minutes.
Yeah, I think he started to show glimpses these past 2 practices. You hadn't seen that burst from him, and I know he missed some at the rim, but he wasn't just bursting past people like he had been in the past. And this is the first time that I've seen evidence in the game that he's got that athletic, fast twitch body. And so he's starting to show some of that in practice. So hopefully this is something that's going to start to come from him. Now the problem you have is he's got 3 days that he's going to have off. And so hopefully he takes it upon himself to get into a gym and work on his game and get up and down a little bit so he doesn't lose what he just gained.
You always talk about Travis Daniels going to be more aggressive. Are you pleased with his performance tonight?
Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. He's doing a better job defensively. Sometimes because he's 6'7", 6'8", he ends up guarding guys that are 6'1", has a hard time keeping those guys in front of him. But we just wanted him to be aggressive on the offensive end. And I thought that us having him play two different positions at times, he gets too much information in his head. He's trying to figure out what he needs to be doing at the 4 and what he needs to be doing at the 3. I think we did a better job of clearing his head and letting him just be a 3-man, and now he's much more aggressive.
I know
Three-pointers have been such a struggle. You go 8 of 15 tonight. What do you credit that to?
Well, I think I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I think that we did a much better job of knowing when our shot was coming. I think a lot of times, I showed our guys on film these past 3 or 4 games that we're sitting there when the ball comes to them and they're standing straight up and down or they got their hands on their knees. And then all of a sudden they realize they're open, and now instead of it being an uncontested shot, it becomes a contested shot because they took too long to get ready. So we talked about, being down and ready, prepared to shoot. And I thought our guys did a much better job of seeing when the ball came, they were already 1-2 and into their shot. I think that made a big difference.
I know last year you wanted Fred just kind of focus defensively on defense leading offense. This year, he seems like the one constant offensively every game. Do you kind of see that from him?
Yeah, and I think the part of it is because we don't talk to him too much about the offense. I think a lot of times in the past 2 years, we had so many guys on the team that couldn't make a shot or couldn't generate offense that we felt like, hey, you have to make a shot. You need to make a shot. And now, all of a sudden, every shot that Fred Thomas takes in the previous 2 years, he felt like he had to make it. The pressure of the world was on his shoulders. But I think we got more guys that can make shots this year, even though it hasn't showed statistically here. But I do think that Travis Daniels and IJ are capable shooters. They just hadn't shot the ball great. And so now Fred is just playing much more freer. And we just focus in on defense and, hey, being down and ready to catch and shoot.
That it?
I got one more question. Demetrius Houston, when I saw him in high school, was really explosive, really went to the basket. He seems kind of tentative now. Are you trying to get him to be more like he's in high school? I'm just curious about that.
I think the biggest problem with Demetrius Houston right now is his turnover ratio. I mean, he turns the ball over too much for the minutes that he plays. And so, he could be a guy that's going to be a good player for us, and he's a guy that can be productive for us because he's such a big-time athlete. He can help us with our rebounding. He can help us with our offensive rebounder. And he does do a good job of passing the ball in practice, but right now he's just way too loose with the basketball. And he's got to tighten that up because once he tightens that up, he gives us another aspect on the court that we desperately need out there, but he's got to secure the basketball.